It's almost as if they were there.
This is the mission support area for the rovers. You can think of this as rover mission control. Here, commands are compiled and uploaded to the spacecraft.
There are system engineering positions for telecommunications, the folks who worry about our link between the deep space network on Earth and the orbiters around Mars that we use as communications relay satellites. There are system engineers who worry about the mobility system of the rover in terms of driving it from point A to point B. There are folks who worry about the flight software, the software environment on the rover. There are different positions like that. There's a lead system engineer who we call the flight director, who stands up at the head of the room and kind of directs the operations, similar to how a conductor directs a symphony.
You have to do all this work, send it up, and then it executes it, and you don't know for 6 or 7 hours whether it's done it correctly or not.
The fault protection design on the rovers and the fault protection, kind of the autonomous keep it safe software on the vehicles is very robust. We know that if it's in trouble, it will take care of itself.
Sometimes when I see them working, I almost feel like they have this extra sense about the situation on Mars and where the rovers are. For example, both of the rovers are on slopes that approach 18, 20 degrees now. And so they're dealing constantly with slippage that occurs when we move on those slopes. And they've gained a very high level of proficiency in being able to determine exactly how to drive the rovers and control things like slip. It's almost as if they were there.
It's not necessarily in the room right next to you, but you're certainly not thinking about hundreds of millions of miles away.
You kind of forget, when you're sitting here at the computers that we have, you forget the massive infrastructure that's in place, the hundreds of people that are working around the planet to really bring the rovers into play and have them do things. You send the commands, you get the telemetry, and you move on, and you forget that there's, 100-ton radio antennas out in the desert that are sending all the commands and all this other infrastructure that's there working for you.
You really get the sense that you can feel those rovers, you can feel the environment on Mars, you get a sense for the temperatures, for the energy, for your orientation, how the rover is tilted towards the north and the west to gain the best kind of attitude with respect to the sun and solar illumination. So you get that sense, and you find yourself, when you move the rover, placing it in a position that is going to be warm and comfortable with respect to the sun. So you find yourself knowing where the sun is, knowing the lay of the land where you're driving the rovers. It's really special. Yeah.